Ladies and gentlemen, the jury. I call upon the chairman of the jury, Sir Peter Ricketts, to announce the verdict.
Oh no, not yet. We have to have a little suspense before we get to that moment. And I think the tradition is to thank very warmly everybody in sight. I'm going to concentrate my thanks tonight on one person, the life president. The dear leader of the French Debating Association, who's been there from the start. Declan was unkind enough to make a reference to me having been on the jury in the last century. This is true, but he was there even before me. Some people say he is a direct link to the debating skills of Gladstone and Disraeli, but I'm not quite sure that's true. But Declan has done so much to make evenings like this evening possible in this fantastic setting. And also, bien sûr, un grand merci à toute l'équipe de l'Assemblée nationale. This is the most wonderful room, but my goodness, what an intimidating room as well. And where I wanted to start was to say how absolutely amazed and astonished we were by the skills of all on both sides, the government and the opposition, in speaking into this room, in being funny, in being passionate. You were all absolutely great. And the motion, well, I think you squeezed a lot out of the motion. To me, it speaks of, yes, of Britain in 1940, as you say, dig for victory, loads of British guts and bulldog and les roast beef and, yes, pragmatism. And now on 1 million mugs and mouse mats all around the world. But I was glad to see that in the debate it wasn't just good old British pragmatism, there was plenty of passion as well. Personally, I'm always worried when the French start getting pragmatic. It's like when the French start talking about the British having principles. I think it worries you as well. So I think it's very good that you showed out of this fairly austere material, you could extract a very funny, very engaging, very passionate debate. So well done to everyone. I'm not quite there yet. I'm nearly there. Yes, we've had a feast of oratory. I think it's lived up to everything that Declan said at the beginning. It's quite unlike the House of Commons in that the House of Commons is never keep calm. There's plenty of carry on, but no keeping calm in the House of Commons. But I think you showed fantastic debating skills, all of you. I think you did engage with each other's arguments. I think you took us into some places that Churchill in 1940 would never have dreamt of, about secret gardens and carrots and then passion and war and revolution and quite extraordinary range. We got Sisyphus and all sorts of things. However, we sat down and thought very seriously about it. We followed scrupulously the life president's 4 points in considering who had won. And I know every president of every jury always says it was a close-run thing. I promise you, in this case, it really was a very close-run thing, and I've got the marks to show it. Everybody can be proud of what you did, but there has to be, I suppose, one winner. You can't have a draw, can you? No? A dead heat? Is that possible? Has that ever happened in the history of this society? Okay. Well, we're getting to the Oscar moment. I just need to thank my mother and father and and cry a bit, although that would make my makeup run, so I won't do that. But I know there are mothers and fathers here, and you can all be very proud of what the two teams have done. However, at every prize giving there has to be a moment, and I'm now approaching it very closely. No, I won't make you wait any longer. It's just a shame to have to spoil one team's evening, but it doesn't really spoil it because it's been an absolutely fantastic debate. We all enjoyed it immensely on the panel. And the winner is Paris 2 Assas. I've got one more thing to say, and now, before you get too carried away, and there's a little bit too much Latin emotion and passion being shown there, that doesn't happen in the House of Commons. I also have to name the best speaker of the evening. That also we spent a lot of time talking about because it could have been almost all of you, but we chose in the end Aude Durand. Well done, Aude.
We'll do the medals now.
Yeah.
I shall now call upon the ambassador to present the winning team with the winners' medals. So if Alice, you'd like to bring them forward? Can we do that here? Yes. Oh, we do it at the front, actually. It's probably the best place, if you don't mind. Okay. So, the Prime Minister, Mr. Julien Berger. Second speaker, Mr. Pierre Bronstein. Third speaker, Ms. Gita Lorabi. Fourth speaker, Ms. Charlotte Matthews. Final speaker, Mr. Carlo van Hankstein. Runners-up medals to the team from the École Polytechnique, Mr. Guillaume Dubreul. Ms. Flora Bourche. Mr. Grégoire Béraud. Ms. Aude Durand. Mr. Christophe Zang. There are three other members of the École Polytechnique team who are not here this evening, but who will receive medals, and that is Mr. Tridibèche Day, Ms. Domitille Pigano, and Mr. Marc Nègre. No, to the best speaker, therefore, to Aude Durand. And I would now call upon the ambassador to present the French Debating Association's Perpetual Challenge Trophy, La Conversation qui n'en finit pas, by Busato, to the Vice President of the University of Paris, to Mr. Bertrand Crétez. you going to say something?
So, good evening. Keep calm, I shall be brief. So, I would like to thank again the President of the National Assembly for hosting the tournament and letting us enjoying this beautiful Hôtel de la Paix, les Ors de la République. Second, I would like to thank and congratulate both teams for the witty debate that we had tonight. Third, I would like to say that I'm very proud of the Paris 2 team, especially given the quality of the debating skills of Polytechnique, except that I must say that I'm a little bit puzzled by their devotion to revolution. And last but not least, I would like to thank our coaches, Gabriel Smart and Catherine English. So thank you for great training. And just a word for the Général de l'École Polytechnique. À la prochaine.